All right, this is Lionel coming at you this week with the top 10 in the NFL. Number 10 this week is, guess what? Houston Texans. I had to make a decision. Do I go with Texas, the Texans, or do I go with the Pittsburgh Steelers? I went with the Houston Texans. Okay, some fresh blood. C.J. Stroud. C.J. was awesome versus Jacksonville. He was a magician out there. He's going to be a star, and guess what? Houston is going to be a destination because of C.J. Stroud. Okay? Number 9 this week is Baltimore Ravens. Lamar didn't play well. He struggled. They lost the game. They went down a few steps, but they're still in my number 9 because they're the Ravens. And guess what? They can get that little, give them a break for this week. They went against Indy. They lost the game late, but they're my number 9. Number 8 this week is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns with Deshaun, he made a comeback this week, played well, went into Tennessee, and he led them to a victory. They're my number 8 this week. Wow. Number 7, the Dallas Cowboys. Can you believe it? 2 weeks ago, we were all talking about Dallas going to the Super Bowl. After watching them against Arizona, you never know what you're going to get from week to week. Look, it's going to fall in Dak's hands. The defense played horrible. It was a mess. It was a mess. So right now, I don't know what we're getting out of Dallas. They're number 7. Number 6, hey, Detroit Lions with Jared Goff. Jared Goff went against Atlanta this week and led them to a victory. They played well on defense. They made plays when they had to. I really like what's happening in Detroit. Detroit is very interesting. All right, my number 5 this week is the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen now, he's becoming consistent. He's becoming the Josh Allen that we've grown to become accustomed to. Buffalo is being Buffalo again. They're really playing at a high level. They're my number 5. My number 4 this week is the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you say? Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones on defense. I love KC and I love what they're doing. They went in there and took care of business versus Chicago. By the way, Chicago's a mess. My number 3 team is the Miami Dolphins. Should I say anything more? Tua. Okay, the guy threw for 4 touchdowns. I mean, the guy was just phenomenal. Miami's playing at another level with all those fast receivers. All right, my number 2 this week, guess what? A model of consistency. The Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Swift's just tearing it up as a running back. They went into Tampa last night and took care of business. Didn't play their best game, but looked like an elite team throughout the process. And then the top team this week, they've been the top team in the National Football League for the last 3 weeks. They hold strong, great defense, great offense, special teams, coaching staff, organization. The general managers just got a new contract along with the head coach. They know what they're doing out there. The San Francisco 49ers are my top team in the National Football League, guys. All right, this week we're going to talk about our top 3 rookies in the NFL. Listen, you cannot have an NFL if you don't have young players because the old guys get hurt and they move on. You got to have young players. So let's talk about the top 3 rookies this week, guys that did some impactful things and helped their teams to win. First guy is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud was awesome. That guy's going to be dynamic. He reminds me of a young Russell Wilson, but a better version of a young Russell Wilson. He could run around, make plays, and he's accurate. He's Houdini with the ball. He's tough to corral and sack. He can find himself some territory and brace himself and get the ball downfield. He's outstanding. Fun to watch from a scout's perspective. Number 1 guy. Number 2 guy was Tank Dell. Tank Dell out the University of Houston. Little guy, 5'10", 160 pounds, receiver. He plays big, plays with a big heart. He made some big catches for Houston this week. He had 145 yards and a touchdown. Tank Dell had a big week in Jacksonville. The number 3 guy, you got to give Arizona some love, right? They beat the Cowboys. So Michael Wilson. Michael averaged 43 yards with 2 catches. versus Dallas. A young player that they really like, Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson is an interesting rookie. That's the three guys this week that stood out for their teams and won. You've got to win to get on this list. All right, we're going to talk about the top 10 players this week in the National Football League. In the NFL, let's start with number 10. Number 10 is DeAndre Swift. Last night he had a really nice game. He had 130 yards. Boy, he hits those holes and he's quick. He's number 10. At number 9 this week is Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is on this thing every week. Brock Purdy led his team to a victory versus New York Giants. Nice victory for San Francisco. Number 8, Jared Goff. Jared Goff in Detroit. Jared Goff is becoming that consistent quarterback that Detroit needs, and he had a nice win versus Atlanta. Number 7, should I say it? Tua. I could have made him number 1, but Tua had 4 touchdowns, and then he had over 400 yards passing. This guy is dynamic. Number 6, Geno Smith. Can you believe it? Geno Smith, everybody left him for dead. Geno Smith now is making plays on a weekly basis for Seattle. Geno Smith was my number 6 guy, had a nice game versus Carolina Panthers. Number 5, can you say any more? Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett had 3 sacks. He's a man-child. Myles Garrett from Texas A&M is beautiful to watch on a weekly basis. Big physical man. Number 4, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, you expect it. Josh Allen is a model of consistency. Every week he wins. Buffalo wins. He was my number 4, had a great week. Number 3 this week was Pat Mahomes. There we go, video machine, Pat Mahomes. You watch him, you're like, okay, I'm playing a game on TV. Watching Pat Mahomes play. He was my number 3 guy this week. And my number 2 guy this week is Justin Herbert. Justin can throw the ball sidearm. He is really, really magical. This guy is leading the LA Chargers to dominance. Justin Herbert, my new superstar in my head, I love him, is CJ Stroud. I talked about him all through the whole production. CJ was magical. Go back and watch the tape and say you saw it early. Say you saw it first, because that's what you're going to start getting. Houston is a place, it's a destination. Everybody is going to want to play in Houston, to play with this CJ Stroud guy. He's the real deal, man. He's exciting. All right, Pam, I know some people have questions. Come on out here and give them to us.
Well, you know, the lines have been going crazy. Hey, everybody, I am Pamela Lowery with Top 10. And people have been having questions. What's going on? First off, the first question I have is from Denise from Indiana. What happened to the Cowboys? What happened to the Cowboys this week?
You know, I don't know, Pam. Hey, the Cowboys, they can't stand prosperity. It goes on every year. They'll have 2 or 3 major wins, and everybody will declare them as, okay, the future Super Bowl champions. And then they go into a shell. They went into a big shell this week because Arizona was one of the worst teams in the league, one of the bottom 2 or 3 teams in the league. And Arizona just physically just beat them up.
But that's America's team now.
It is, but they have bigger goals than that. They're trying to win a championship, and the way they played this past week, they got to really look at themselves.
Cowboys, can you bring it? Yes or no? Now, her next question is Tua that good? Tua.
If I could only learn how to pronounce his last name, it'd be better. But let me tell you, all you need is one name when you're that good. Tua has been special. He's playing right now like an MVP. He's got to be the leading candidate right now for that award.
You got a lot of big things you're saying about this Tua, but the season is still going on, so we're going to see. The verdict's still out about Tua. Okay, now we got James from Arkansas. It says C.J. Stroud, Houston, big win. C.J. Stroud, now let me say real quick, the Ohio State University with C.J. Stroud. Okay, we can take him to Texas now. Come on.
You know, I'm so excited about C.J. Stroud. I went out and I looked at the tapes again. I looked at the game again. C.J. Stroud is going to be a superstar. I get excited. Now, I don't get excited about NFL football, or any football players for that matter, because I've done it so long. I see it. It's like being at McDonald's and eating a burger. I'm eating a burger all the time. I'm tired of it. But I saw C.J. Stroud this week, and I said, wow, look at this guy, man. Big time. C.J. Stroud is going to be a stud. Okay? A stud. I love that guy. I'm excited. Can't you tell?
That's that Buckeye blood in him. I'm going to just say, Ohio again. Now, as we go into all of this, Deion Sanders had to beat down. Now, you know we love Deion. We love Deion, right? Y'all put some hearts in the chat for Deion. What happened, and how can you come back after losing like that? As an athlete, you know, you've been around teams. You know how the morale and everything is after you come with a big loss like that. Was it an L? Was it a real a L or a lesson?
You know, it's a lesson, but it's kind of out of Deion's hand right now, out of his hands. He played against an Oregon team the team is bigger, stronger, more physical than him. Yeah. And in football, you win on the lines. You win on an offensive line and a defensive line. Mm-hmm. Colorado has an average offensive line, an average defensive line. They have great skilled players. Mm-hmm. When you play the bigger teams like the Oregons, the Utahs, the USCs, they got big, tough guys. Mm-hmm. So Colorado's going to struggle versus the bigger, more physical football teams. And that's what Deion's running into right now. He just has to get bigger, stronger players to compete at that level. You know what, Deion? We're rooting for you. And also, if you have any questions, if you want to put how you feel, put it in the chat and make sure you stay tuned to Top 10. All right, that wraps up week 3. Hey, what's your team doing? Are you winning? Are you losing? But just remember, I'm Lionel Vitale, and everybody loves football.